News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
So the first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been released by Pfizer's plant in Michigan, and not a moment too soon, because a federal judge released a convicted terrorist because of his obesity, that it put him at risk of suffering severe complications from COVID-19. So good thing we're getting this all figured out now. This is according to iHeart.com and Fox News. Check this out. Adel Abdel Berry is 60 years old. He spent the past 21 years in a New Jersey prison after being convicted for his role in the 1998 bombings of the 2 U.S. embassies in Africa. The twin attacks were organized by al-Qaeda and killed 224 people, including 12 Americans. But Berry's lawyer argued that the 230-pound terrorist should be freed sooner because his weight, his age, his history of asthma would put him at greater risk of developing problems from COVID. So what did they do? Well, Berry was released and returned to the United Kingdom, where he was reunited with his wife, who lives in a $1 million apartment in London. And even though Berry was stripped of his UK citizenship, officials can't block him from entering the country because he was granted asylum in 1997, 2 years before he was arrested for his role in the terrorist attacks.
Well, I do like capital punishment for this particular reason. This guy's killed 230 some odd people. It's his choice whether you want to pack on weight in the joint. He evidently made that choice. But now the guy's living in luxury in the UK.
Yep.
Why don't we just kill this guy after he's convicted? You know, my thing is like, all right, you got the poor black guy and the white chick with the cataracts from across the street said, even though there's a rainstorm that night, that was the guy who shot the liquor store owner. I'm definitely willing to carve out that kind of capital punishment stuff. Like, okay, we've been wrong before, but once the body count gets over 200, let's say we could put you down. We got no problem with that. Menace. Yes. Right.
Exactly. And if nothing else, why are we, and by we I mean, polite society, because this is the UK, why are we so strict on our rules? Like, well, we'd love to block him from entering the country, but he was granted asylum. We'll ungrant it.
This is the guy, by the way, definitely the guy. When this guy flew back to the UK, it's definitely the guy I'd be sitting next to the next time I go back to find. Morbidly obese and a mass murderer. You know,
just be one or the other.
What line are you in?
Hey, you gonna finish that pork? All right. I couldn't think of any jokes.
That was good.
Yeah, this guy's horrible. He's gonna go back, and God knows. By the way, when your ideology is killing as many infidels as humanly possible, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a light switch. I don't feel like you just shut that switch off. All right, well, now I'm in the UK. I'm going to take up cricket.
You're committed.
If anything, you leave angrier.
Right.
Yeah.
How old is this dude? Do we know?
60.
All right.
He's got to make up for lost time.
Let's just put him down. Can we put him down? Why can't we put people down? Let's go case by case. Just go. This guy should go. What? I don't know. What percentage of Americans? And I don't know where it breaks down with capital punishment, but what percentage of Americans would not want him put down?
A minority. I mean, 35%.
And then also there's this thing. When we don't put people down, all right, but then time goes by and the guy who's supposed to be in prison for life is out of prison, or the guy who's supposed to be in prison for life has written his third book. Or the guy who's in prison for life has sired 3 kids from inside the joint. Like, time moves on, and these guys keep living, and shit happens.
And just to put it in even a little more perspective, how many people would care if they heard that they were told who this guy was and found out he just died in prison? Nobody.
No. Mother Teresa would call it a good day.
Right.
It was funny. We're talking about the vaccine. Maybe you can find this, Maxapat. I should have given you a heads up, but it was like one of those insights in my weird brain. They were doing a story on the first person, I think, or one of the first people to get the vaccine. It was on CNN this morning. And they were showing a doctor, I think he was an emergency room doctor. He was a black man. And he had his sleeve rolled up, and they were administering the COVID vaccine. And it was just a kind of shot of like, here we are. He's the first person, and I don't know, one of the first people, and he's a doctor. And I think they like the optics of the black doctor.
Sure.
It seemed good. And he was getting this shot where you get a shot, your upper, shoulder, top of your arm there, right in there. This dude happened to have a tattoo on his shoulder that it looked like a giant sun, big 2-3 inch orb in the middle of it with all the sort of lashes coming out around it that would signify the sun or a sunflower or whatever. But as the lady was putting the needle in his shoulder, it was smack dab in the middle of this tattoo that looked like he had gotten it just to get the COVID shot.
That's prime real estate on TV.
It's literally as close as you could physically get to a bullseye tattooed right where you want that needle. And that chick put the needle right in the middle of the bullseye. Now, it was CNN, and it was this morning, and it was a black doctor. That's all I got. So, Max Bow, you can search around. Sorry, Gina, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we'll move on from COVID.
Let me add to that real quick, because I could see subconsciously or without even thinking about it, aiming for that middle of that bullseye, like you said. That's why, I'm sure you noticed over the years, that's why a lot of restaurants, bars, whatever, have added those urinals with the little bumblebee in there. Like, why is there a bumblebee in there? Why is there a whatever down there? They found that more people will aim. More dudes will aim for that bumblebee and not get piss all over.
A grown man has to be treated like a toddler when you're potty training them by throwing the Cheerios in the toilet?
I think it's subconscious. I think you don't even think about it. But
oh my God.
Studies have shown, apparently.
Everything has to be a game to you people.
I have the sort of the opposite reaction, which is all the urinals are made by a company called American Standard. And I hate pissing on American Standard. I just sit there. It's like burning the fucking flag.
Yeah.
I just sit there and stare at the words American Standard, and I'm just whizzing all over the American Standard. Yes. Sorry, Gina. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, we'll come back to that. Let's move on to the harassment desk. So singer FKA Twigs came out recently against Shia LaBeouf, and we'll get into that in a moment. But she's not the only woman that has a problem with Shia LaBeouf. Singer Sia has now accused the actor of tricking her into an illicit relationship. So she said in a tweet, "I too have been hurt emotionally by Shia, a pathological liar who conned me into an adulterous relationship claiming to be single. I believe he's very sick and have compassion for him and his victims. Just know if you love yourself, stay safe, stay away." So on Friday...
Hold on. If your name is Shia and you can't pick up a chick named Sia, you got real problems with your game. I feel like just the alliteration, the name alone, close enough. Also, it's ironic that the chick named Sia has bangs over her forehead and her eyes and can never see anybody.
And Shia is anything but shy.
That's right. He's opposite of Shia, and she's opposite of Sia.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the gatekeeper of the keymaster.
For FKA Twigs, who is curvy, so this is all going to shit, she filed a lawsuit against Shia, accusing him of physically, mentally, and emotionally abusing her during the relationship in 2018. She also says she thinks she got an STD from him last year when he used makeup to cover up an outbreak before they had sex. Now, as to where Shia stands in all this, he has a response. He emailed the New York Times about all of this, and he said, "I'm not in any position to tell anyone how my behavior made them feel. I have no excuse for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations. I've been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history, and I'm sorry to those I hurt. There's nothing else I can say."
I don't think if Garagos was representing Shia, he would have told him, "Do not say that. Do not release that."
But isn't it refreshing?
It is, actually.
It is until he has to start cutting checks, and then it's not going to be, his lawyer's not going to be happy that he basically copped to it. But yes, refreshing. And I don't know, maybe it's part of his sobriety. I don't know who DJ Twigs is or who that person is.
FKA Twigs. She's a singer.
And you say she was curvy? I didn't catch that part.
Twig. It was kind of a joke. But yeah, you could show a picture of her. She's I don't know that I personally can't tell you what song she sang, but maybe Gary or Chris can.
All right. So we did Sia and Twigs. All right.
Yes. Now, moving on to more harassment. A former advisor to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo accused him of sexual harassment on Sunday. In a series of tweets that we have, Lindsay Boylan, who worked as Deputy Secretary for Economic Development and Special Advisor to the governor from 2015 to 2018, said Cuomo sexually harassed her for years. Boylan's now running for the Manhattan Borough President, and she wrote a series of tweets over the weekend, and here we go. First one, yes. I'm going to start from this one, Kaylin. Sorry. Yes, New York Governor Cuomo sexually harassed me for years. Many saw it and watched. I could never anticipate what to expect. Would I be grilled on my work, which was very good, or harassed about my looks? Or would it be both in the same conversation? This was that way for years. And I promised myself I would never let those guys win. I would work hard my whole life to put myself in positions of power to change things, to end the violence and corruption, give voice to the voiceless. I'm not stopping. I refuse. I'll never give up. It was then I learned how hard it is for women, how hard this world can be for us when we're trying to be taken seriously and help our community, how easily jerks can destroy the lives of women. Boylan says she tried to quit 3 times, but she was afraid to cross Governor Cuomo.
Well, to me, on cases like this, I gotta wait and see how many other people come forward. If it's in a vacuum, you should take it seriously. But when the pattern, there's always a pattern. You know what I mean? Guys are very pattern oriented. They have types, and they just, when it comes to women, if you look at guys, and it's not even all sexuality, but it's a pattern. Like anybody who knows a guy, once you see that guy sort of in action, then you'll see somebody and you go, oh, that's his type. Oh, yeah, he likes her.
He's known for that.
That's his thing. That's what that guy. Look no further than John Derek. You guys can look up all his ex-wives, but they just look like a younger version of the last one. You know, they're always went from Linda Evans to Bo Derek, you know. So there's patterns, and they're not really vacuums. Like if you're going to be around and you're going to be single and that's your MO, then you're going to do it. And I think she said others will come forward as well, or be prepared for others. Somewhere I heard it somewhere. But if the others start coming forward, then there's something to talk about.
And she's running for Manhattan Borough President. So is there a correlation? Is this just a coincidence? What does it matter? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know if there's I don't know if you need. I don't know what that means, Manhattan Borough President.
Yeah, is it an honorary position? I have no idea.
I don't know. It's very sad that it always gets down to this point, but can we see her? It helps inform a male's decision. I'm
sorry to say she's attractive.
What
does it matter, Adam? A woman is a woman. She's really pretty.
It does kind of help inform when you can actually see them. And by the way, it's a two-way street. It goes the other direction. Goes the other direction as well. All right. Well, we'll keep on this one and see what happens. I know he's like the most. She's a beautiful woman. I don't know. I don't know his deal. He's a perpetual bachelor. He's been divorced for a long time. He's been single for a long time. What's his?
I don't know anything about him.
What's his?
I don't know.
I know during the whole pandemic thing, and he was sort of America's governor, and they were trying to set him up with Chelsea Handler on The View, and there was all that kind of like the single guy that they were trying to get him, trying to find a love connection and that kind of stuff. But I don't, and I know he has daughters, or maybe a son and daughters, and so he's been divorced. I guess he's just been divorced and single for a while.
Yeah. How do you know? I'm going to go ahead and guess TMZ, but how do you know they were trying to set him up with Chelsea Handler on The View?
Could have been a TMZ thing. Probably a TMZ thing.
Probably a TMZ thing.
Yeah, the word gets around.
Kerry Kennedy, don't know if there's a relation, 1990 to 2005, domestic partner Sandra Lee, 2005 to 2019.
Kerry Kennedy. I think we had an assistant. We had an assistant. Yeah, we had an assistant at the Man Show called Carrie Kennedy, as I recall.
Was she the third daughter of Robert F. Kennedy?
Was she a DJ or a VJ?
No, but I do remember. And I do remember, you might like the kind of shit that would never fly. We had a cute assistant the first season of the Man Show named Candace. And we all loved Candace, and she was great. Although she wasn't a fantastic assistant, but she was good.
It's good for morale.
Good enough. She was very attractive.
Okay.
And she would give answers that attractive people only give. You know what I mean? Like she'd come in on a Monday at like 1:30, and like work started at 9, and I'd be like, Candace, it's 1:30. Where were you? And she'd go, I overslept.
The end.
Okay. I should write a coffee table book of answers that only attractive people give. If you're 4.5, you don't give that kind of answer.
Oh, no, the answer
my
is,
car
I'm so
broke down.
sorry.
I was throwing up projectile vomiting.
What happened was.
Right. Now, our next assistant was a guy named Ken, and we insisted on calling him Kendis, which, again, would probably not fly in today's PC culture, but Ken was always just Kendis because we like Candace.
Poor Ken.
Poor Ken. All right. Did you find any of that? CNN this morning.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Did they put that online?
Some of the clips they do put online, but I'm looking.
Yeah, it was this first COVID shot, live shot. They were doing like a live shot, I think.
Right. Well, actually, most of the press is that it was actually a nurse, like a woman who got it. So everybody just covering her the first one. So
no love for the bro who's the ER doctor. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, let's stay with what's appropriate and what isn't. Shawn Mendes, a singer, apologized to Sam Smith, another singer, for misgendering them. So about 18 months ago, Smith came out as non-binary using pronouns they and them. And Shawn made the mistake when he was presenting on Thursday's iHeartRadio Jingle Ball. Afterward, and he said, Shawn said, he's a great musician, or I'm a big fan of him. Afterwards, Shawn posted on Instagram, "Oh, Sam Smith, I'm so sorry for referring to you as a he during your Jingle Ball introduction. It absolutely slipped my mind. It won't happen again. Sending you much love. Also, you absolutely are one of the funniest people I've ever met." Sam responded by saying, "We're all learning together. Happy holidays, all my love."
How could this not happen continuously, just 24/7? There's no way.
Yeah.
If we're going to decide that people are theys and z's and whatever it is, no one's going to be able to keep track of fucking all of it. It's gotta happen. Now, Shawn did like a preemptive apology strike there.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think we're all a little too up in our heads about this. So Sam Smith is... This is just cause everyone has to stop and do all the mental gymnastics. Mm-hmm. Sam Smith,
yes,
are. What are they? Are they identifying as something other than a male?
Correct, as non-binary. Them.
Not as a female.
No,
just not a male.
Correct.
All right, so they are in a third category, or the category's infinity.
Well,
that's
Adam,
really kind of it.
If anyone should be able to understand this, it's you. If I'm not mistaken, I would like to take another look-see at your driver's license. I don't know what questions you have. Are you not non-binary on your driver's license?
I was telling someone that over the weekend, and they were like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Because my son thought it was funny." They're like, "Why would you put an X on your driver's license?" Doesn't my driver's license have an X on it? Was that what it had?
Yeah, I think it was
it seemed like a good goof at the time. We're at the
So there's MFX. Those are the choices, like male, female, X. I'm thinking.
I don't remember. I remember I was at the Monterey. The DMV in California, the DMV in Los Angeles is so fucked up. It's literally rendered unusable. Like, you could have a full-time assistant and you could tell them, make me an appointment. I don't care how long you have to stay on hold. And the answer is it's not doable. Because it's Los Angeles. I don't.
Yeah. Good luck.
When did Los Angeles when did it become the fucking bottom of the barrel for almost everything? Like, why we're in Los Angeles? Why aren't we full of computers and DMVs? Like, why can't I register online? Why can't we do all this shit? Like, why are we dead last in everything in Los Angeles? So, no usable DMV in Los Angeles, but I was going to Monterey, so I made an appointment at the Monterey DMV. And I had my son with me because he was there for the car race. And when I went there to register, and when I was filling out the paperwork, he was standing next to me. I thought it'd be amusing just to check the non-binary box. So I did. Unfortunately, made for a bunch of extra paperwork when I got to the window. But it was a small sacrifice to pay to have a goof on my driver's license. And it could pay dividends next time I get pulled over.
It's true.
Yeah.
Give you a hate crime, give you a ticket.
That's right. What else we got, Gina?
Well, I just got a notification coming across the wire right now, and, I'm sure we'll have more information in the coming days, that President Trump says Attorney General Bill Barr will step down before Christmas. Trump said he's had a very good relationship with Barr, but the two recently split on Trump's claims the election was rigged, and Barr shall be no more.
Too bad.
Yeah, I don't like that guy. He was forthcoming. I'll say that about him.
Right.
Didn't he physically kind of remind you of Garrison Keillor?
Yeah, well, he always reminded me of
him.
that kid from the Christmas Story or whatever that.
Peter
Ralphie?
Billingsley?
Yeah. He had that. He had that look. They're occasionally they're 62-year-old men who just they look like boys. You know,
Yes.
all the sort of features of a boy, and he had that Billingsley kind of look. So,
Ken Burns effect.
The Ken Burns effect, right. Yeah. Although Ken Burns looks like when they I don't know why I think of this, but remember in that famous SNL sketch where Eddie Murphy became a white man?
Yes.
I think he had the Ken Burns look in that. But no CNN guy with the star on the shoulder. Huh. Well, maybe I'll find it when I get home. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right, let's see. Well, all the lists are coming out, and I've tried to limit the amount of lists that I present in the news, but one every day or a couple of days is okay. So Google's most searched terms of 2020 is now out. They do this every year. It offers insight, like you say about commercials, it's a snapshot. Well, this is each year it reports what the questions were, the biggest fears, the big events, and most of them will not surprise you. A few of them you might not understand, and I will help you with those. So let's just go down the list. Coronavirus, election results, Kobe Bryant, Zoom, IPL. Do you know what IPL is?
No.
IPL is the Indian Premier League in cricket.
Ugh.
A lot of cricket stuff happening, and we were none the wiser. The next one, India versus New Zealand. Assumed it was soccer, rugby. No, I believe this is also referring to cricket. Apparently that was a hot event around the world, everywhere but here. Then back to coronavirus update, coronavirus symptoms, Joe Biden, and Google Classroom.
All right, first things first. Cricket's not a real sport. How do you know?
It's 4-day baseball.
Well, when's the last time you saw a bunch of Indian guys here dominating a sport? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if it sounds xenophobic. They're not a super athletic people,
Is engineering a sport?
Ooh, that's a good
all
point.
Over that shit.
Yeah, they're all over that shit. Now, and by the way, cricket people, again, if America wanted to dominate at cricket, we would. We're just bored by it. You know what I mean? I feel that's where we're at on the internet. Americans would be way too bored to fucking play cricket. It's basically they bounce the ball. Here's how you know cricket sucks. And I don't like this either, by the way. When Sports Center does their top 10 plays, it used to all just be miraculous one-handed catches, buzzer beaters, monster dunks, and guys being blown up going across the middle in the NFL. Now we got to spread it out. You know what I mean? We got to be a little even-handed. We get some, like, Swedish hockey. We get some women's soccer. They're trying to diversify a little bit. Seeing a 19-year-old chick from Old Dominion kick a ball into a fucking net, it's not a top 10. I want to see a guy with some hops. I want some daylight under his feet. I want a guy going up. I want a guy in the UFC getting like this spinning crescent heel kick to the temple and knocking him out before his lifeless body even hits the campus. And now they show cricket. And whenever they show the cricket highlight, this is a bad sign for your sport, where the highlight of your sport looks like a move I've made 26 times over the course of my lifetime, drunk playing softball. They got the guy playing behind, they got the catcher, and at some point the guy like taps the ball with the stick, and the ball goes careening off, and the guy kind of lays out and catches it with one hand. But the ball only traveled like 4 feet. Like it's again, if you played in a company softball league, you would see 8 of those plays made on a nightly basis. That's how fucking boring cricket is. That's how much of a non-sport it is.
That's a good point. I never even knew what the phrase sticky wicket meant until someone explained cricket to me. You know that phrase, like, oh, that's a bit of a sticky wicket.
I only knew what it meant colloquially. I had no idea what it meant in the actual game.
Cricket wicket.
Shia LaBeouf was accused of putting makeup on his sticky wicket.
Oh, my God.
That's true. It's why he was
sticky.
To
hide an outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, this is Shia, if you're listening, and any celebrity, this is where my condom with the mole built into it comes in. The birthmark in the condom. We put it on the inside, but it's prominent enough to show through. And, when you get to court, the lady goes, well, he had a very distinctive birthmark on his penis. And then you just whip out your honker and go, I don't see anything.
Yeah. Show me where it is.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's one more, Gina.
All right. Well, this is not something I can give you any details on, so don't ask me any questions. In case you're wondering what the Earth is worth, they've crunched the numbers. Earth is worth $5 quadrillion. That is the number 5, followed by 15 zeros. Researchers at the University of California, Santa Cruz looked at the plate's age, size, temperature, mass, and other stats, and figured out that Earth is the most valuable planet in the solar system, at least, the way we grade them. Just to compare, researchers figured out that Mars is worth about 16 grand. Venus, worth 1 penny.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
going at a bargain price.
Listen, I know it's all for our amusement and everything, but there's a slippery slope situation going here where we're putting price tags on Earth because now Bezos is going to get together a group of investors and actually buy the fucking planet. He's going to get a consortium together. Magic Johnson will be on that. Be about 8 heavy hitters, and they're just literally going to buy Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're going to want to walk your dog, and they're going to charge you a toll for going down the street. And you're going to want to hug your child, and they're going to want another 15 pence. And then you're going to make sweet love to your wife, and Bezos is going to be standing there with a meter from an old taxi cab, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Slippery slope guy's back.
Well done.
Yeah, maybe we'll try one of those tomorrow, Max Pat. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.